Hello, hello.
We are on air. Look at us. Well, kind of halfsies.
We're halfsies.
Today, Facebook, Instagram's down. So you YouTubers watching, thank you for being on here. And we will upload this to Facebook for another time so you all can watch it recorded. But still fun. We can do this.
Technology is fabulous.
Right. A couple things. So that is the Haley. It's a 4-2 in Grand Oaks, and that's in phase 1, but we will be starting phase 2 probably December to be CO'd by April, May, maybe as soon as that. More like June, probably. But we look forward to selling out phase 2 coming up next year in 2022. So keep watch of that, and we'll keep giving you updates. Why are you dressed like a zebra?
Oh, I'm on safari.
Or are you one of the animals being watched by safari? We should have gotten a picture earlier. So every day on weekday during Halloween, we at Rabell Realty Group are dressing up. Mostly you'll see staff and Susan because she likes to be a part of the fun that we're doing.
Well, yeah,
I know.
2 days.
We're staff.
Yeah, that's right.
So today's Safari Day. Last week, if you saw on pictures on Facebook and Instagram, was really fun. It was 80s time.
That was great.
So we had a blast doing the 80s
great. Day.
Today's Safari Day. Sindel showed up in a safari outfit, and we are the animals that she's viewing on safari. So tomorrow's Country Club Day. Anyways, follow along on social media. It'll be really fun watching all of us dress up. So
that's right.
We love
And
Halloween.
You can stop in the office dressed up and enter to win on the prizes. Everything's up on our Facebook page, and someday if Facebook comes back, you could see the rules. Otherwise, we'll have to get creative.
We could put it all over on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
on LinkedIn.
we can
We'll
put it on
post all
LinkedIn.
those on LinkedIn. You can watch it there. So
that's right.
We'll find a way.
That's right. All right. So what do we have? I guess I'm like so discombobulated knowing that we're not everywhere. I guess we start with the Monday Market Moment. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So let's take a look at what's happening in North Central Florida for you. You've got the Gainesville Alachua Market. Let's see. This is October. So this is, you've got 203 active so far for the month. And you've got 355 closing or pendings. Woohoo. Might need more coffee. 319 have closed. Is this September through? Or no, this is...
So it's September 4th to October 4th. I think next week when we're back to being live, if Facebook come back, we'll do the last 3 months.
Okay. So, and then you jump down into Hillsborough, Tampa Bay. You've got 506 active, pending 1,126, and closed at 1,023. Still looking strong down there.
There we go.
Ocala Marion. 421 for active, 877 for pending, and 728 closed, which I know everybody is kind of weird about Ocala, but I'm hearing such great things. Their equestrian center, I listened to a whole spotlight on it today about how it's bringing all this business and infrastructure and people into their community that wouldn't normally be there. Not only is it the largest horse show arena, but they don't just specialize in one thing, which as a non-horse person I did not realize, but they do English saddle riding and Western riding and rodeo. They'll like do a little bit of everything, I guess because these things also have seasons, which makes sense. It's kind of like sports. But yeah, they just finished some Western ones and they're getting ready for some more traditional like fence jumping type stuff. So check their website
so everybody
out.
who's into horses or horse shows, that's exciting for you where it's super close by. If you're in Alachua County, you can just ride on over to Marion County, Ocala and see what's going on there with the horse shows.
But it's helping their market, I would imagine, tremendously and bringing more jobs and different people into the area. So good things for Ocala, it looks like.
Ocala's growing really steadily, so great place to go. I've been down to downtown Ocala, and it's really fun. There's some cute clubs and restaurants. There's a French restaurant there. I don't know what it's called.
I love that place.
But it's
I know
so
what you're
good.
talking about.
Yep, it's great for
The
wine.
no-name French place.
Right. Yeah, so Ocala has some things coming to town, and it's just a really great. I mean, I love going.
Like seeing.
I love going
market's
antiquing
doing well.
there. So I do drive into Ocala. on Saturdays.
I
to go
mainly just
shopping.
like that their active number of listings is 421, which is, 421 is my birthday. So I'm like, oh, they're thinking of me.
I have to make a note. Active in St. Augustine finally got off that 92.
Yep, there you go. So we're not faking the numbers. We're at 87 now. So St. Augustine.
For the year.
St. Augustine Beach areas, you've got 87 active, 34 pending, and 41 closed so far. So
these numbers are still looking pretty steady, in terms of what we've seen throughout. Next week, like I said, we'll do the past 3 months to see how it's going. Oh, Jamie, thank you for being on YouTube, actually. So we appreciate that. The music just came on a little, confused me. So a couple things with the market. There's an article out. I don't know if we have a slide up for it, but let's see if a slide has popped up. Yes, that one. All right. So this is from the National Association of Realtors. We have, as members of National and Florida, we have access as realtors on this website. So the Florida Realtors website. And it's basically saying the rising prices push home equity to its highest level in 10 years, which that last year was 22,000. Well, it's 21, and it's actually 2010 was when it was the highest push for home equity, which is really interesting because in Gainesville, that 2011 was like our lowest of low. But like we've said before, and many people say,
I'm just trying to get over that 10 years ago wasn't 2000.
I know, right? Yes, that's true. So it's basically saying that, it gives us, it puts a lot more money, so-called, in our pockets. Our homes are worth a lot more. Of course, it's leveling out a bit, but it was the highest jump. So it says homeowners with a mortgage gained an average of $51,500 in home equity, and that's really the second quarter, which includes April through June, which is typically the hottest time of any year, and it was definitely the hottest time ever. So, and as you can see on there, it was the highest jump since the second quarter in 2010. So that's pretty huge because that means you have more leverage. You're able to make, better financial situations, and you're in a better financial place than you ever were because of the rising prices. Now, of course, quarter three comes along and it kind of levels out, right? So it doesn't really mean that you'll always have that equity. But it did show if you were selling in that time of year, you probably made a lot of money. Or if you were able to borrow off of your home ownership because the appraisal came in larger, you were able to borrow more, maybe to buy a second home, an investment home, or to put more money in stocks and crypto. And actually, if you're looking at those, a lot of people are saying don't buy at this time, right? Because you really want your you want to be able to buy when it's the best time to purchase, but the rates were so low that it's been a great time to buy, right? And as you were talking earlier, the rates have risen quite a bit.
They're expected to go up through December. And honestly, if you've listened to the show, then you've heard Robert Filial with Annie Mack on before telling us, they're going to go up towards the end of the year, and then they expect them to start coming back down towards the more traditional sales season of summer. So that's exactly what we're seeing happening right now. Right. And when we say they're going up, it's not like they're going up into like the 14s or the teens.
Right, exactly.
They're going up into the 3s, which is still historically an amazing unheard of rate to get a mortgage. And so I've seen all kinds of comparisons on social media. You won't see them today, apparently, but they're out there normally about the difference between the rate going down into, say, 2.8 versus buying now when the prices are still a little higher. Like, it's the same amount of money. It's just how you're looking at it.
Right.
So
money in your pocket or money in your home, right? But the side effect of this, of course, is that it's a lot harder for buyers to purchase. So it's making, it's causing this huge difference in homeowners are getting wealthier, and you're accumulating this wealth based off of the equity, but renters are not at all. And now they're actually being pushed out because, we can say that you can sell your house and then you've made a lot of money and you've been able to buy cash. And I think that's where these cash buyers are coming from, because the cash buyers are becoming more and more, there's higher rates of cash buyers, and it's probably because they were able to sell for a lot higher, grab that money, and then put it in and make a higher offer or a better offer, being a cash offer, right? So we've been seeing a lot of that, but it's pushing out a lot of home buyers, which that's why we say renters, because a lot of renters become home buyers and they're not able to purchase. So it's also one of the hardest times to purchase right now. And it's causing great problems with housing affordability. And we've talked about this a couple times, and I think it's a huge topic these days, and we're going to continue to talk about it and hopefully have some, people come on and continue to speak about this. But that is really scary right now for home buyers and even renters. We've talked about it before with renters, I think last week and the week before.
Yes.
That rentals are becoming increasingly more or harder to come by, and cheap rentals. And in other areas, which we haven't seen yet in our area, because again, it's localized real estate, we're finding that there are multiple offer situations on rentals. So, again, lots of topics to talk about. It's really great as a seller, to be able to get this, or as an owner even, to have this equity in your home. But it is really hard as a buyer to be able to purchase, especially if you're under a certain price range. And so, we'll continue to see this and talk about it and see how it changes with raising the rates. And hopefully next year we'll have a little more, a lot more homes on the market, but we'll see how that comes by. What do you predict?
I'm just trying to figure out how you get more homes on the market when there are supply chain issues for new construction or remodeling even. So how do you get more homes on the market? I know in Gainesville we're experiencing an influx of landlords selling their properties because of the new rules and regulations the city's putting down. So unfortunately it's hurting people who need rentals, and people who are buying them up, but they're not going back into the rental pool. They're satisfying the needs. So we just have a vicious cycle happening in this area.
It's funny though. So my sister down in Tampa, she's wanting to get her license, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hot here." But I literally, as I was walking in here, I'm dealing with a buyer who's a past buyer, and we're not able to find them something because things are going off the market. They don't have cash. They're, low money down, conventional loan or FHA loan, which is really hard because they don't have the cash to be able to compete with cash buyers or 20%
just an
down
influx of cash buyers right now.
Right, because of the equity in homes, or 20% down conventional buyers, right? They just can't compete with that. And I literally have a text from the husband saying, "This is nuts." It is nuts everywhere. It's not just the big cities. It's not just California or Tampa or, these bigger cities or these bigger areas. It's in areas like this, Gainesville, which I still deem as a small city.
It's not. If you don't believe me, go drive in the mornings.
Right.
It's awful.
That's just everybody moving in here.
Oh my gosh.
They're getting away from the big cities, creating a big city here in Gainesville.
No, let me assure you, they all live in Jonesville and they all travel down Southwest 8th Avenue in the morning. Yes. When I moved out there, it was easy peasy, 10 minutes to school.
Always like that, right?
40 minutes to go. A drive that normally takes me 8 minutes in the afternoon. 40
It's
minutes.
all relative, though. Go up to Atlanta or down to Miami, and for a week, and then come back to Gainesville, and it's not that bad.
If I wanted to live in a big city, I would live in a big city. I would go back home to Tampa.
Right.
So, but yeah, their traffic is crazy there.
One more thing, you can put it back up, that screenshot or that slide there for us, Elio. So this was interesting.
Yes.
So I'll read it out, and then we'll talk about what we read from this. So according to NAR, there are roughly 3 million licensed real estate professionals in the United States. And I think a third of them are in Miami. No, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot in Miami, right? So they actually say every other person in Miami has a real estate license. So that's a lot. Also, according to NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, roughly 5,500,000 residential resales sold in the United States. And 800,000 of them were new construction. I believe that was, I want to say, last year. That's about 6,300,000, right? And that's about 2.1 homes sold per agent if you break it down. So really, and that's according to Statista.com. You can go look it up. You just have to plug in, information to come up with that. But, and we'll get to the second part. But really, what's interesting about that, and we always talk about this, right? There's that 80-20 or the 90-10.
I think it's 90-10.
It's 90-10. 10% of the agents do 90% of the business. So there's all of these real estate licenses now, or licensed real estate agents, in the United States. Now let's come down here. There are 1.2 $1.3 million or $3 million. I'm talking in real estate. 1.3 million lawyers.
Too many.
Right? We've got a lot of lawyers. There's 1,022,000 doctors.
Not enough.
Not enough, right? There are 65,959 architects.
And I'm going to be honest, everybody's moving to engineers over architects.
Okay.
They can do the same thing, only that's just not as beautiful.
There are 625 electricians.
Not enough.
Right. There are 3,600,000 teachers.
I don't know on that.
Yeah, I don't know on that, but probably still not enough, honestly, with how, as many children are in school.
19 million funeral directors.
Right.
Sorry.
19,000.
Oh, 19,000.
Funeral
Okay.
home directors.
That doesn't seem
right?
like very many at all.
Not at all. There are 696,000 police officers.
That's alarming.
And then there are 417,000 plumbers.
Not enough.
So the very first thing that comes to your mind off of this is what?
We need tradespeople.
Yeah.
Not that lawyers are tradespeople or doctors, but electricians, plumbers, police officers. That's like a shocking number.
Right.
Of police officers. But yeah, plumbers. We need plumbers and electricians so badly. And plasterers. And plastering is an art. So if
we don't have enough homes on the market. And as people
can't build them.
Right. We don't have anybody to build them. One of the biggest things I've heard this year or have experienced, there's not enough handymen, right? Contractors and handymen are a little different. Handymen can do a certain level of work to a home without having a license. You just want them to be insured and bonded, right? Contractors have licensing. They've gone through schooling. They've gone through testing. They have licensing, and they can do certain things. So you want a licensed electrician who's licensed in electricity, right?
Electricity? Yes.
You want a licensed plumber who's licensed in plumbing. I mean, what else do you say? Plumosity. You want a licensed roofer who's licensed in roofing, right? You don't have to have a licensed, wood rot specialist, right? But if so that's the difference of those. You can have a handyman for that. But there's not enough of them out there. They're all incredibly busy on rebuilding the houses, fixing up the houses, right? But also building them. So that is the number one thing that both of us saw from this. Now, what's another thing that comes to mind from when you read this? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of talk about why there's so many licensed real estate professionals.
Oh, because it's easy.
Because it's easy. It is. We're not rocket scientists. We
took a mirror.
We took a class. There was a week-long class or a 6-month class, depending on how many.
63 hours of your time.
Exactly. So you get that. You take a license. You take the test. And then you take the state exam and you pass the state exam. Some states are easier than others. I think Florida is considered one of the a little more difficult ones.
We're on the mid. Right. Yeah.
So if you can pass those tests, you can become a realtor or a real estate agent. To become a realtor, you have to actually become a member of your local association or a local association, your state association, and NAR. It all comes together. So really, you're a licensed real estate professional without that realtor status.
Designation,
right?
Yeah.
Designation. So there are too many of them. A lot of people say that it needs to be tougher, and not necessarily the testing per se, but we only have to do every 2 years recycling continuing education. There's a lot of talk that it should be more often because of the amount of mistakes that can be made. And a lot of people talk really poorly about realtors, but the best ones, that 10 to 20%, know what they're doing. The rest of them, did they do a deal? If the top 10, 20% are
I don't know
doing
what
all
I
of
did
that?
more than 2. So I've taken somebody's deals, and I'm primarily focused in property management.
These
but I
days,
think I've
right.
even still done
More
probably
than that.
20 this year at least.
Right. So it's really getting it more difficult, being more expensive to become a realtor so that just anyone can't get in it, and just having it tougher throughout the time that you're a realtor or a real estate agent. So that's where this conversation goes to. But I think the biggest thing is that we need more tradesmen. We have a lot of salespeople. It's a great job. We're not trying to push you out because we are brokers. But really think about it. Are you going to put your time and energy into this and really learn the laws and the rules and the transactions and the contracts and everything? So
Hurry up, Jamie. I know you're watching. Get your license quick.
Well, we thought this was really interesting to see this. All right, we're going to go on a break. We'll be back.
Welcome to the small town of Alachua, with a population of nearly 10,000 residents and a sparse suburban feel. Alachua has an average age of 35, making it a great community for young families with a variety of activities, such as Alachua Recreation Center, Splash Park, San Velasco State Park, and seasonal festivals. Alachua is zoned for Irby Elementary, Alachua Elementary, Mabane Middle School, and Santa Fe High School. Downtown Alachua is home to shops and restaurants, as well as the City Hall and a local police department. Neighborhoods such as Windswept Hills, Heritage Oaks, Turkey Creek, Savannah Station, and more are all located just 16 miles from Gainesville. Please visit buysellrebell.com to search for your new home in Alachua.
All right, we're back. Thanks for joining us again on YouTube.
Oh, yes. Welcome back.
All right, so Rebecca, you got this. Confusion in renting.
So there was a interesting little story. It was like a Dear Abby, but a real estate edition. And this was on MSN, the real estate section. From what I can remember, we read through this morning at the office and took everybody's opinion. And
we did it for you.
Basically, the story kind of went like this. Dear Abby, I rented to my mother-in-law who thought she was going to get a deal, and I thought she was going to pay the asking price. Mother-in-law ended up paying the asking price and lived there for 8 years. No increase in rent at all. And in that time, she made about $60,000 worth of improvements to the property. And over that course of time, the son-in-law and daughter,
the owners
of the property, who did not raise the rent on her, actually continued to cover. They had to pay $500 out of pocket to continue to cover expenses such as the mortgage and the taxes.
Insurance, because insurance and taxes are raised when you don't live there.
So $500 a month over the course of 8 years extra in addition to what she had paid. So, and they did all the lawn, they did the maintenance, repairs, all that stuff. But she did upgrades. They asked her not to do. The upgrades were reflective of her taste. Well, now the market's booming and they want to sell the property. And, they're asking the advice, do I have to repay her for her upgrades? And to me, I'm like, well, I want to know what the upgrades are, which the article, of course, did not tell you.
They also did say that they didn't like all the upgrades.
Right,
they would not have done them. She did them anyways.
She did them anyways.
What is $60,000? Was that really, did she pay, the most expensive person to do them?
Correct.
Or was it a good,
and they were things to do for her taste.
Right, and for her taste. So
that's an interesting question to me, because as people who rent, or what we encounter, people want to make little upgrades and changes to the house, and sometimes you can do that, but you have to realize that you're probably not going to get paid back for that. Oh yes, it's Safari Day. Great. So if you're following Rabell Realty Group on Facebook, which I know Facebook's down right now, but every day of the week, Monday through Friday through the month of October, we have a different theme. Tomorrow's Country Club Day, so check us out on Facebook and TikTok. But today is Safari Day, so we're on safari.
We are the little animals on safari.
Yep, that's right. So anyways, I thought it was interesting about setting the expectation. My number one thought is, do not rent your property yourself and manage it. You should always call and hire.
You don't always make great decisions on your own.
And I've had this honestly with multiple owners that we manage for, where they're like, I know them, it's awkward. And so then we're transitioning as I'm like, hey, you can't reach out to so-and-so anymore. You have to call me. Oh, well, I know them. Well, I can't be rude and be like, look, you're making it uncomfortable for them and you're a nightmare tenant, but you've got to talk with me now. So we're very polite and nice how we broach that subject and transition people from dealing directly with the owner to dealing with us, the property manager, who's honestly going to be there to get things fixed and done timely.
And most also, when you're a family or friend, it's already hard because they're not necessarily trying to take advantage of you, but they can take advantage of the situation because there is a heartstring attached to that. So when you pull in someone like a property manager who doesn't have that heartstring attached, it's a lot easier to make those decisions. So also in a lot of leases, it says if you have done anything to the property, you have to actually put it back to that normal where it was before. So the lady lived there, the mom lived there for, what did you say, 8 years? That's a long time. She probably did, the most common thing is painting a wall, right? You want to paint a white wall, a vivid color, and then you're charged by the property management company to paint it back white unless you do it yourself, right? And that charge is going to be double because if it's a dark color, it's going to take that much more time. Or if you have, if that property management company has a paint company that comes in, a painter that comes in and paints it, they might have to spray it twice to get it back to the original color, which is typically a white or light cream color, right? So it's a vanilla color. It makes it easy to clean, makes it easy to repaint back to that color. So, but when it's your family member and they put $60,000 in 8 years, it's
I'm
a
betting
lot more
she's
than that.
done bathroom remodels because they said she did things that they asked her not to do, but yet they were still maintaining yard. They were maintaining.
So I know the
house.
answer from the attorney, because it was asked the attorney, right, was to pay.
I think it was just Dear Abby, but
Okay,
it was
right.
yeah.
So pay back all of it or half
All of it or a portion of it.
Right. So my thought would be is to count up the $500 a month for those 8 years that they paid over or whatever it is, and then also the additional costs that they put towards it, and then how much of that they lost, right? Because they didn't sell it, they were renting it.
They also didn't take a current market value rent.
Right. And how much they could have charged her. Well, I think that's the difference of the charging. If you see what paying over what, and usually property managers and, owners increase it as time gets, moves along and the market increases as well. So if you're having someone live there for 3 years, the next one comes around, you're going to raise the rent, or you raise the rent $50 per year, $25, $50 per year, something like that. Sometimes more, depending on the market.
Yeah, we've had some go up
so
11%.
They've lost that much money. So putting that together and then her $60,000 and seeing that difference and probably getting there around at the middle there.
And I'd also want to see a list of what the upgrades were because there is a difference between
some of it can be improvement. Is their value improving right now because of it or not? Right.
True.
So I think it's really looking down to the nitty and gritty of numbers to see. I would not pay back all 60,000, but I would definitely come up with the numbers that they lost or they put into it themselves versus what she did, and trying to see if she did not do that, would it have raised value anyways? Was it raising value? Because some of it could have raised the value. So I think that's a tough question to come by, but you really have to know all the factors.
Don't rent to family.
Or
don't sell to family.
Hire a property manager outside of yourself so that they can be that person in between and without the heartstrings and make it work out better for you.
That's right.
So a couple changes coming up. Let's see the next one. Gator Homecoming, right?
Yep.
That's this weekend. Oh yeah, Elio's going to be there. He's going to bring the fiesta. So we've got Gator Growl and Homecoming and the Homecoming Parade. The Homecoming Parade is Friday. All parents know because there's no school. And we have to figure out, if we can't go to the parade, what to do with our kids. But the parade does, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm from Gainesville, so I've spent many a years going to the parade. You have to go fairly early to get a good seat. Typically, my memory is going there freezing in the morning. I don't think it's going to be freezing this year. And then by noon, you're sweating. And hopefully you brought a sweater to take off. And then you have a tank top on. And you have to take suntan lotion. Right?
That's right.
To friends or family. You have to take suntan lotion because it's so bright. So, but the location of the parade is a little different now. So it's starting at the intersection of Museum Road and 13th Street and continuing north on 13th Street until University and head down University Avenue.
Right. They've changed it because of the speed humps on University now.
So a little bit of a change there. Hopefully you all read that or see that on the news or newspaper if you're reading the newspaper online so that you don't get the wrong seat. But yes, a huge change for Gainesville. But you all have fun. I know the Gators lost this weekend, a very tragic loss, but don't be fair weather. If you're really a Gator fan, go out there and support them as best you can, whether it's going to the game, celebrating with friends and family, going to the parade, or even Gator Growl. I've been to Gator Growl in years. It's very different. I don't even know who's there. We didn't put that up there. Do you know who? Other than Elio. Elio is going to be there, so show up for him, okay? All right, go Gators.
All right. Just a couple of quick notes on things you can do over the next couple weeks as you're looking. You've got pumpkin patches. Oh, boy. Is the info up there?
Yes,
if not,
it is. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So these are some of the larger
here's the
pumpkin
larger pumpkin
patches. Really great for family time.
So you've got Rogers Farm, and they've got a haunted corn maze in the evenings, and during the daytime is a little more small kid friendly, but pumpkin patches, fresh veggies. They have all kinds of activities. They have goats that you can pet and touch and all that if you like doing that kind of stuff.
They don't have zebras or
That's right.
whatever I am, jaguar. I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't say anything. I'm like, I don't know. I know it's an animal. I just don't know which one.
Maybe?
A leopard.
I don't know.
Then you've got.
Panther?
I think this farm is really nice. We went blueberry picking with
Yeah,
y'all.
it's so much fun. I love
it's
it.
out in Williston, the Red, White, and Blue Farm or Blues Farm Fall Festival. They're sort of a newer one to my knowledge. I've only heard of them
We
in the
only
last
knew about it
year or
with
two.
that blueberry festival.
Yep. So,
which
and
is
they've got a
amazing.
great farmers market that they put on. I believe it's on Saturdays, but they have a Facebook page that someday will be back up, and you can check all the details and realize how much we look at Facebook.
I know, right?
And then in terms of like just a general pumpkin patch, this one's great. Buy a pumpkin, feed a child. This is up off of 39th. You probably have seen them. They have tomato out typically. And so they bake pumpkin breads.
And don't they usually have
sell-
like a bunch of like a fairground
They
type
do.
of
They have
event?
they have events that
on
go
the-
on,
on the
throughout
weekends,
the month,
right.
and then they have some special guests. And I did hear this on the Sky this morning, and I can't remember who they said they were because I think they were like football player people. So I didn't like take a note, like it didn't register.
Well, you can look it up on Facebook when it comes back on.
When it comes back on, and they have a website. They all have websites
they
as
do.
well.
They do.
So you could check them out. But just fun, family. You know, get out there, buy pumpkins, support your local farmers and community.
It's still a little hot, but you know, it's bringing, once you get a pumpkin, don't carve it too early because it will rot very quickly in Florida. But you can put it out there and then carve it right before Halloween.
Yep. And after you carve it, dip it in bleach.
There you go.
And it'll help it last a few days
and
longer.
nobody will eat it either. All the bugs
True.
won't get it.
That's true. That's why I do that. So,
Good idea. I didn't even know about that.
Yep.
All right. So Rabell events are coming up too, our favorite time of the year. On October 15th, we are still hosting the Rabell Oktoberfest. So Hale usually has an Oktoberfest during this time, but they have canceled. We're going to still go. We'll be a little bit outside, a little bit inside, and we'd love for you to join us October 15th. We're going to have live music by The Medicine Show. So one of our realtors, great band, loves to play rock and roll, some fun music. We'll have appetizers and beverages, and we'll be there. And so we would love to have you all there. Come and visit us. It's a great event. It won't be as large as when all of Hale puts it on, but it will be a lot
More
of fun.
fun.
Yeah. Usually people come in and hang out anyway, so it'll be fun.
Gunna, I don't know who that is.
That's
Is that
Susan. Gonna at Growl this year. Gonna. I don't know.
Is that a
Who's
singer?
Gonna? Yes, I think that's a singer. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
A rapper.
All right.
All right.
If you have a property that you
All
need to have
right.
managed, call K&R Property Management, where we invest in your investment. We will handle the leasing, accounting, repairs, inspections, and landlord permits for you in Gainesville and coming soon to Alachua County. So reach us at 352-213-6410 after the show.
All right. If you want to be serious about your real estate career and really learn how to be in that top 10%, email us. We'll talk to you. We'll talk about you joining our team, becoming a realtor, coming over from another real estate company. We'd love to talk to you. So email us.
Looking to get social? Not today. So normally you can
That's
find us
great.
on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. You
Yep.
can still find us on TikTok and LinkedIn as far as I know. And YouTube. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on
Facebook,
YouTube.
not so much.
Yep. So like and share our YouTube page. We'd love for you to follow along, watch these videos, podcasts, and much more. All righty. Did you know we have a blog?
We do.
We were
I
at
think,
about...
I don't know today.
Yeah, you might not be able to find it. No, it's usually on our website at buysellrebell.com/blog. Lots of real estate and localized events.
And if you're looking to get into podcasting yourself, contact the Fiesta Media, and Elio will set you up. First, talk to us about coming on our show and guest speaking, though. We would love to have you on. Elio's phone number is 352-327-5089. It is difficult to read somebody else's phone number out.
No. Yes, we always love to thank the Fiesta Media for this ability to be on a live podcast, even when Facebook is down. So we hope you see us afterwards, or just watch us on YouTube. Might be the best way anyways.
All
The day
right.
Google falls down, that's when, the internet will break.
It will be bad news.
Yes.
All right.
All
Well, we
right.
will see you
Thank
next
you
Monday.
for watching. Thank you for joining us. We'll be here next Monday.